Good evening, everybody. This is Miley, and today's tutorial is going to be on the tack stitch. So I'm still using my Aida cloth with our previous stitches from the running stitch to the stem. Oh, I've got to label our blanket stitch. Okay. For our tack stitch, use a tack stitch when you're trying to add more layers. You're trying just to do itty bitty little pieces. So I'm going to tack on this strip of purple. To do that, I need a threaded needle with my knot tied in the end. I'm going to bring my needle up from the back side of my fabric so that my knot is to the back. I'm going to put my purple right next to that so that my little teeny tiny tack stitch is going to be come up through the white, go down in the purple, and I'm actually going to send all the way through, and I've done one little tack that could hold this on, but we really want it to be secure, so we want to do 2 or 3. So when I come up again, I want to make certain that I'm up right next to my first tack and go back down. So I end up with 2 little tacks right next to each other. You can see the individual little stitches. For our project in the felty, I actually want to tack on one side and a tack on the other side, but this would actually hold that little piece. It can do a little bit of rotation. You could do more tacks on it. So I'm just going to come up on the far side, and this time I'm coming up through the purple and down through the white. So it's kind of like the running stitch. I've got one little run here. I keep seeming to move off camera tonight. So I have that one little run here, and if I was doing the running stitch I'd continue on down, but because I'm doing a tack stitch, when I come back up I want to be right next to, get rid of that little frayed edge, or create more. Scissors. Okay. Got rid of the little purple frays. I want to come back up right next to my first tack and go right back down again next to the first tack. So I've got 2 little tacks that will hold this in place. Then I'm going to turn over and I want to do a tie-off. A couple of the students asked about the tie-offs. They're not remembering, so I'm going to show you once again how to do a tie-off. You can actually see the back of that tack stitch. I'm going to send my needle through just the stitch itself, kind of forms a little loop. And grab it. As I pull, I'm again forming a little loop. I'm going to send my needle through that loop twice. Once, twice. And you can see how the threads are now spiraling around themselves. As I pull tight, they're going to tighten down. I can put my thumb up against it to really make certain I've got it tight, but I've created that little knot. I can cut off right next to it, or I just send my needle back through the other side, but because I want the knot on this side, I'm going to go ahead and cut, leaving a little tail. And I have my tie off. Thanks, everyone.